what's coming in 2026? What are the big changes, in the pipeline? You also mentioned Sharia MCP, so if you want to talk a little bit about that, I'm sure I don't really know what that is, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers don't either. So give us the down low.
So, just on the side of DSP, and I think one of the interesting things I mentioned in the middle of some of the conversation that we were having was the platforms that it's integrating into, right? I mean, Netflix is part of DSP's inventory now, so you can actually, as a Amazon seller, target signal-based audiences when they're using Netflix, which is within the ad inventory, which is the ad-supported part of Netflix that it already has. It's also integrating into Roku, which has around 80 million CTV households in the US. It has like an 80% penetration on CTV. So the fact that Amazon DSP is integrating into such, I mean, widespread supply platforms, right, where I can show my ads, it really shows that the value of targeting customers who are Amazon savvy on platforms which are, say, such high intent people, places where people pay attention, right? Instagram is not where a lot of attention is being paid to, but CTV is where a lot of attention is. It really shows the power that it's going to have, just rather than being a retargeting leg, it's also going to really become an omni-channel kind of ecosystem now with the platforms it's integrating. And beyond that, even the audiences, right? I mean, now Amazon, so some stuff that I said about add to cart, nobody was able to do that back in the day. But now that Amazon themselves is enabling Marketing Cloud in everyone's ad accounts, right? You don't need to go to a service provider now to even know what is happening in Amazon Marketing Cloud. With just certain campaign IDs, certain ASINs, you can create all these audiences yourself. So that's where it's really powerful now from the side of ease of access to people, right? If you have your own seat, you can run your own campaigns. There's no minimums that used to be there with Amazon back in the day. So that's where Amazon's really moving to kind of a pretty democratic system wherein they're allowing DSP to be done at whatever kind of liberty and scale a brand wants to do. And then AI interventions are always going to be happening, like I mentioned, and very briefly on MCP. Essentially, we're integrating all of that data, as I mentioned, into ChatGPT, right? So for anyone who maybe does not have the smarts about DSP, but wants to have very prompt responses, clear-cut suggestions and answers, they can use that ChatGPT ecosystem to kind of free-flowingly just converse with their data and understand what's happening at an overall level in their account, right? This goes beyond DSP even into just search. So you can start querying stuff like which are my top performing audiences, in which geographies am I selling the best on DSP, and can I increase my budgets there? And that's how you can just simply get it done. So the future seems to be, just because of the supply side, I think it's a big year for DSP going forward. And yeah, I think overall with the entire picture looking good, DSP seems to have much more of a value in a marketing budget, say in 2026.
Yeah, super interesting that it's now everyone can use it. I remember when it was such a coveted thing to have the DSPC, and now it's like just another tool in the toolkit to try to figure out.
Yeah.
Ever any thoughts on anything that Sharia just mentioned in terms of just the progression of DSP and maybe what you think that implicates for what has to be aligned between ads and operations in 2026?
Right. I think I'm going to go a little bit far with it, but it's something that's happening slowly. It's going to become more and more aggressive, where like there's such thing as, I think it's called CloudBot or something like that, where basically you put in a bot where like an agent that manages your day-to-day tasks and things like that. And it could purchase things for you, could do things for you. Now, fast forward how AI evolved in the last, not even 4 or 5 months, has been insane. I mean, people are building softwares, they're doing so many crazy things with AI. It's just like mind blowing to me, like that I'm living in such an era. But what that means at the same time is that consumers will also adapt to certain AI tools that are going to start managing their day to day, right? So if somebody usually gets their groceries online, or somebody just buys their supplies online, right? They just might have their bot or their agent, whatever, just placing the orders for them, looking for the best price, placing the order. So in a certain way, there might be a chance for certain products and for certain people, and it's going to keep on growing as we grow into 2026, 27, 28, is that people won't look that much anymore on the actual product when they're buying it, because they're trusting their agent to buy stuff for them. So what's the goal with that is making sure your PPC, your DSP, all of that is perfection, right? It's done to perfection. You really know what you're doing. You're really laser focused on that. And the same thing with logistics is making sure your logistics is in place. So automatically you don't have stockouts, you don't have any of these headaches. Automatically that gives you an edge where, okay, there's unfortunately a situation where some people don't even see your product and they just get delivered to the door. So I know it's crazy. People might laugh from it, but I'm starting to see a little bit of it as a reality. I think, what's his name? Elon Musk said that he believes in 10 years from now, some people might have a choice to want to work or they don't want to work. I laughed at it. I think he was crazy when he said it. And now fast forward a few months later, it's like, there's 5% of my brain thinking like there might be certain people, certain positions in the world where you might not have to do the work and the work just does it itself. So it's the same with the shopping experience. That's going to change. Question is how long it's going to take, how much percent of the market. I still personally love to see the product, but we never know. But I'm just like thinking a little bit outside of the box, thinking a bit crazy, but this is something that could happen. And the important thing is to have these things really checked out clearly, so you don't have that as an issue.
No, to add to what you were saying, essentially a lot of the, I mean, and as we're already seeing this with the integration of organic content starting to appear in ChatGPT for Shopify D2C websites, right? Now your organic content has to be engineered in a way that you're also starting to become relevant on ChatGPT, which is already something all brands are investing into. And even from the research journey, right? I mean, me myself, I do a lot of the product research I buy on AI itself, and there itself I get direct links to platforms where I can buy it, right? I am no longer even going to explore which platform should I buy it on or what I should buy. Everything is done through ChatGPT nowadays. So I think that what you're saying is very plausible. It could just become a game of how can I, rather than rank on Amazon, start becoming a game of how can I rank in ChatGPT? What do I need to put in my product page? And then naturally inventory becomes as important as it.
Right, exactly. Okay, yeah, it's very interesting topic, but it's going to be very interesting to watch in the next year or two how these things evolve and how it changes the shopping experience.
Yeah, I think bots are just going to start talking to other bots and leave people out of it entirely.
I don't know, like it freaks me out, but it's just crazy what's happening. So I'm sure it's going to have an effect on buying, on purchasing, on shopping, on all that. This is just the back end of stuff that's changing drastically in the last few months. It's going to affect the same way, not maybe as aggressive, but it will affect our ways how we shop things. Like you said, like you're starting to look more in ChatGPT for a product. I tried doing it. It doesn't work for me yet, but it might work for me at some point. Like I was looking for shoes. Like I was saying, like let me try ChatGPT and see if I can find a good pair of shoes. And I was like, man, they don't work. But at some point it will. So
Sure. Yeah. Anything else you want to mention about Hector? Anything else about DSP? Anything at all, really, before we wrap up our conversation?
So essentially for us, one of our biggest bets has always been DSP. I mean, within the last year, a lot of the brands that we worked with had given up on the platform, say 2 years ago, 3 years ago. We've won back a lot of the trust through showing the value in audiences being sharper and not just spraying and praying within all Amazon audiences that are there. Really using AMC before it became accessible to all. So now I really feel that the urgency to try this is much more important for brands today. I mean, and yeah, for us, we just enable brands to do this very easily, as I mentioned, through multiple brand-led solutions, like, integrating stuff into ChatGPT. I mean, we're doing it before even say other people have even thought of doing this, because we realize that there are some small sellers who maybe don't want everything, just want very ease of access to just communicate with their data and get actions done without maybe having to hire an entire agency. So yeah, I mean, essentially, I think DSP should be explored for more knowledge. We're always there to help. As I mentioned, lots of new inventory getting added. So yeah, that would be kind of what I would want to just close out with, that. Yeah, DSP would be very big for all brands next year.
Avram, final words or predictions about how the robots are going to take?
That I don't know yet. We'll see. We'll see how tactical it adapts the robots, but for now, it's still people. We love. No, we had a great conversation. I think there's a lot of information there for the seller that wants to make their experience on Amazon better, smoother, and more profitable. A DSP module, working with that, working with Hector. I know a lot of people that work at Hector. I know a lot of people that use Hector. Only good feedback that I'm hearing. So great. So thank you, Shannon, for putting this together. Great interviewer. So good job. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it. See you both soon. Probably see you at Pros.
100%. We'll be there.
All right.
Perfect. We'll be there. We'll see you there.